Hey Rise families, today I thought I would talk to you guys about our Learning Without Tears program, the handwriting portion of it. And I wanted to talk to you about the reason and the theory behind the way we do things that we do. We start out with the Handwriting Without Tears program, and just like April does when she's teaching children how to write letters, you start with like the vertical and horizontal lines, and then you do the cross where you're crossing midline. And with these letters, we don't start with the letter A like the traditional alphabet. We start with the easiest letters to write. And so we start with letter L, and then we go to F and E and H and T and I. And one of the reasons that we start with those letters are because they don't require you to use your fine little finger muscles. They require you to do more of your shoulder. So when you're writing the letter L, you're doing a big line down and then a little line across the bottom. And as you can see, that was my shoulder moving for most of that letter. And then after you do the letter L, you go into those magic C letters. So it's C, O, Q, S, and J, and G. And so with the C, it's requiring you to use still that shoulder, but you're also starting to, for the S, you're starting to use your elbow a little bit more. And so you start with your shoulder and then your elbow, and you're working down to your hands. Letter D, that requires you to do more of the wrist movement. And so it's a big line down, and then you're jumping to the top, and you're using your wrist to make that curve. So that's D, P, and B. And then the diagonal letters are the letters that are the hardest for our children to write, because that comes more with the wrist and then the fingers. And so, so your R, as you can see, that was mainly my wrist that was writing that letter. So it's big line down, jump to the top, curve, diagonal line. And so you do, as you're working through, like I said, you're starting with your shoulder, you're going to your elbow, your wrist, and then your fingers. And that's one reason why in the preschool classroom, we really only focus on the uppercase letters. Because once you get into those lowercase letters, you're really required to use those fine finger muscles. And so that's typically with the Handwriting Without Tears program, is what you would teach in kindergarten. As we do go to kindergarten and we're going through the program, if we would have continued at Rise for the remainder of the school year, some of our children, we would have been working on those lowercase letters because they have mastered the uppercase letters. But I just wanted to give some background information. Another thing that we talk about a lot is when we're writing our letters, we start at the top by the smiley face. The smiley face just gives the children an idea and a visual of where they're gonna start that letter. So you're starting up at the top by the smiley face for like the letter L. You're gonna do a big line down, little line across the bottom. So you're always starting at the top. You don't start at the bottom and go up. You start at the top. And so a lot of the songs that we do is like, where do you start your letters? That was recorded earlier in the distance learning program. All those things remind the children to start at the top for their letters. And then we do have some kids that will write them the other way, and that's okay. It's just as they become more practiced at it and they're more successful, then they're gonna pick up on the traditional way of writing them. So that's just some general information. I'm going to also attach some forms just so you guys have that information too, with the order that we go in with the Handwriting Without Tears program. Some information on why we start with the uppercase letters and not the lowercase letters. And so I hope all of this is helpful for you guys. And then this week too, I'm going to be doing a handwriting, working on handwriting and writing the child's name. So I hope you guys have a good week. I really miss all of you guys, and I can't wait to see everybody hopefully sometime soon. We'll see you guys later.